Well, much has been said about the importance of building resilient communities and sustainable living in the context of climate change mitigation. These research, entitled Post-Traumatic Growth and Decline among Survivors of Supertyphoon Yolanda or Haiyan in Estancia, Iloilo, gives light to the basic element behind resilience and sustainability, which is the people in vulnerable communities who are affected by disasters themselves. And so, in 2013, November, the Philippines was extremely devastated when Supertyphoon Haiyan ravaged several regions. In fact, in Estancia alone, one of the severely hit towns in the Visayan regions, 95% of the households were totally damaged. 80% of its fishing industry was wiped out. 462 individuals were injured. 9 persons died, and then millions and millions of damage was recorded in infrastructures and property. But despite these horrifying statistics, over the recent years, there is already an increased expression and recognition of people exposed to highly traumatic events who perceive not only negative but also positive changes from struggling with these events. These are referred to as post-traumatic growth and post-traumatic decline. So let me define what is post-traumatic growth. It is the experience of positive psychological change reported by an individual as a result with a struggle with a trauma or any extremely stressful event. Whereas post-traumatic decline is a reduced or impaired sense of psychological adjustment, cognitive development, and emotional awareness, or simply the opposite of growth. So with this relatively new area of research, we felt that there is a need to explore this area as there is little knowledge about a balanced evaluation of both phenomena across cultural groups. Second, that both accounts give a much clearer picture of the experiences of the survivors as compared to focusing only on the negative consequence of trauma. Third, and more importantly, it becomes more predictive of well-being or psychological adjustment, and that we have to explore opportunities inherent in trauma to build new and improved life structures, such as enhanced self-perception, where survivors may feel that they can do better. There's also a change in interpersonal relationships, where survivors develop more meaningful relationships with each other and are becoming more compassionate and empathetic towards others. There's also a shift in life philosophies, where survivors develop a greater sense of self and a greater appreciation of life. So with this, we conducted a study aimed at identifying the presence of post-traumatic growth or decline among survivors of Supertyphoon Haiyan in Estancia, Iloilo 11 months after the disaster, and determine the significant differences in post-traumatic growth and decline among the survivors using several variables such as age, sex, civil status, monthly family income, and educational level. For the methodology, our sample size included 99 participants, which were selected using stratified random sampling. And they are survivors of the super typhoon, are bona fide residents of Estancia, Iloilo, aging 18 years old and above, were able to be there during the conduct of the study and is able to speak, understand, read, and write English, Filipino, or the dialect. So for the procedures, we made use of a researcher-made questionnaire to determine demographic variables and a standardized tool, which is the Changes in Outlook questionnaire by Joseph et al., which is a self-report measure containing 26 items that assesses positive and negative psychological changes. So for the results of the study, you can see that there are more women in the study, and that majority of the population is comprised of late adults aging 41 years old and above, mostly married, and that there's a fair distribution in terms of family income and educational level. So for the results of whether there was post-traumatic growth and decline, as you can see in Table 1, with a mean of 5.068, it means that there was post-traumatic growth. On the opposite side, with a mean of 2.681, there was absence of post-traumatic decline. So this achievement of post-traumatic growth may be attributed to existent opportunities that were effectively taken upon by respondents to overcome challenges and accommodate in a positive direction the meaning of this new experience over time, as it is influenced by cultures, beliefs, priorities, and experiences of an individual. Whereas the absence of post-traumatic decline suggests that the respondents were able to successfully come through this highly challenging circumstance without experiencing disruptions in their psychological adjustment, cognitive development, and emotional awareness. So, what's our take-home message from this? The results of this study provide medical and allied professionals an increased awareness of and attention to the potential for growth after trauma, while not discounting as well its negative consequences. It may also serve as a guide to the local or national sector in the implementation of policies or programs that befit the needs of the survivors post-disaster, not only physically, but also emotionally, spiritually, and psychosocially.